Hi, Chuck here at Kodabow Crossbows. Hunters for many years love having heavy-ended front arrows. And so what they do is they say, well, I'll use a bigger broadhead, and they'll screw it into an aluminum ferrule. And then they'll say, well, wait a minute, if I put brass in the front of my broadhead, and then I screw it, my same broadhead in there, I've got even more front end weight. And you know at Kodabow, we love FOC, front of center weight percentages. We recently had a customer who was going to shoot some big stuff, over 2,000 pounds, water buffalo, that type of thing. And what we wanted to do was take a crossbow arrow and build up something around the 900 grain area. Really heavy arrow, large animal arrow, really heavy. Here's a trick, a neat way to do that with really common materials, so you're not really kind of pushing yourself too hard to make something really neat. What you want to end up with is something that's this little module, and it will fit right into the front of a Kodabow crossbow arrow, and boom. And this is significant weight. It's our standard brass ferrule, and I'll just weigh it here as I go along to give you a sense of it. But it's our standard brass ferrule. It's a carbon sleeve, and there's two other brass ferrules inside, and that weighs about 378 grains. So just that little bit there. So here's how we did this. Number one, you can take a crossbow arrow and find another arrow that fits in it with very tight tolerances. And this is so tight that you can see it compresses air. And that arrow is just popping. And so that the two carbon walls are very tight. This is a gold tip Expedition Hunter arrow, and this is our standard Kodabow crossbow arrow. So we cut these little sleeves from the traditional arrow, and we have a little sleeve. And then we go to Home Depot, we buy some 8 32nds, number 8 by 32nds 2-inch screws. Brass is preferred. We cut them down a little bit. Those are the leftover parts. And we really make two components, a short component and a longer component. So to build this little sleeve, all we're going to do is take a decimal 246, which is the brass insert for the standard traditional arrow. We're going to take that decimal 246. We're going to put a 8/32 short in there so that we can then join it. So we'll drop it in a sleeve. We'll take another, and these weigh about 100 grains, so we'll screw that into place. So now I have a solid unit mechanically joined. When I actually put these in the arrow, I'm going to use insert weld. Really, the stuff we like the most, it's a instant glue, but it has some rubber in it, so it's very resistant to impact. So we'll kind of coat all this when we actually put it in the arrow, but I'm just showing you how it goes together. So now we have a 100 grain insert and a 100 grain insert into this hollow sleeve. I'm going to take the longer piece, and I cut these with a Dremel tool. It only took a few minutes, and we'll screw this into place. And so now I can attach the regular crossbow insert, and we'll screw that on. Now I've got this real heavy unit. Like I said before, all the components are there. It's coming in around 375 grains. So now I'm ready to go. I take my crossbow arrow, I drop it in, it slides all the way in, and then our crossbow insert goes in. It's all one unit. Again, I would coat that with adhesive before putting it together. In goes my rear insert. Looking good there. And then I would take my broadhead and screw it on here. And I've got an arrow that can weigh 800 to 900 grains, depending on the weight of my broadhead. This is a 200 grain broadhead, so this arrow is going to come in around 800 grains. If I want to get up to 900, I could use a 300 grain broadhead. So that's a neat little trick about how to really increase weight at the very front of your arrow, and it's very modular, it's very simple. You're using standard components that are easy to buy off the shelf, and I've shown you how to do it. So having said that, thank you very much. If you want to build a heavy arrow, that might be one way to do it. Thank you.